Hello, Doc Sketchy here again after a very long hiatus on YouTube. Wanted to show you a few new things I've built just recently. Have a special t-shirt today. Everything's a hammer from Rosa Stringworks. Check him out on YouTube. If you dig making your own guitars, or even if you don't care about making guitars, you just like to watch some guy do a lot of cool stuff in his shop. It's really good videos. And then I also want to show you the new Rotary sequencer that I built. Okay, Doc Sketchy back here with the main event. This is my recently completed 16-step rotary analog sequencer based on it's the musicfromouterspace.com design and the Thomas Henry panel, although I slightly modified the panel a little bit to space things out a little bit more in a more controlled way. Anyway, so it's 16 steps. The outer pots are, the big ones are coarse tuning. The inner ones are fine tuning. So I think it has a range of about 7.5 volts. So that's 7.5 octaves in a 1 volt per octave synth. Each channel has a gate switch, and yeah, so, and then it's got these buttons. So this button, like for example, these buttons step through, so you can step through. You can step through to tune. And then if you want to go back to 0 or to 1, reset. So you get yourself all tuned up. And then I'm going to start by just running it in 16-step mode, where it just goes around and around. But then you've got all these other things. You've got this pot where you can set the step anywhere from step 5 to step 16, where you can and then you can either when it gets, for example, it's set at step 9 now, so it'll run from step 1 to step 9. And then at step 9, it'll reverse and go back to 1 and back to 9, back to 1, back to 9. Or you can set it to reset, so when it gets to set 9, it goes right back to 1, 9, 1, 9, 1. And then you can set it to stop, so it goes 1 to 9 and then stops. So I'll demonstrate all those. So I've tuned it up with a sequence that many of you will be familiar with. Yeah. So I'll start it with a little bit low on the. So here's the sequence that I tuned into it. It's got a glide control. It's got an external clock input, so right now I've got this thing here beeping away. So if I plug that in, see what happens. Okay, so now I'm going to show you these other features. So we'll do the reverse step. Now we'll do reset step. Then we'll do stop at step. So if we do reverse, you can change the step on the fly. Now, there's also a random mode. Now I'm going to turn all the gates off. Now, if all the gates are off, you don't hear anything because I have it triggering a VCA. So I'll put the VCA bias on. Now I'll start putting the gates on. So you can see with this combination of features, you can easily get the numerator sequence going. Anyway, I think it's pretty cool. I'm happy I built it. And yeah, not really prepared at this point to build one for anybody else, but if I did, it's going to be pretty expensive because this thing was a real chore to build. Let me just show you the back real quick. So here's the back. The key thing is that all the panel components, all the knobs and all the knobs and LEDs are on this circular PCB. So I've eliminated basically almost all the panel wiring, almost all the panel wiring. I've elected to use hand-wired pots and hand-wired switches up here, and this pot is hand-wired. But all the sequence pots are wiring's been eliminated. Now there's still a lot of wiring on here. You can see there's 4 wires here, 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 and here. Those are basically the gates. And those gates have to connect to here, and they have to connect to the gate switches, and they have to connect to the to this selector, this rotary switch here. So most of these wires, and I've color coded them. There's 16 gates, so these are 16 wires going to here and 16 wires going off from there. So those are all just the gate wires. I may try and clean that up on my next build. But really, these wires here, in the middle here, are all the wires to connect the circuit board. There's 2 circuit boards. See, they're stacked on top of each other. The circuit boards to the panel. So it's about as clean as it can be, and there's no actual pot wiring except this one pot. So yeah, it's still a very challenging build, but made a lot less challenging by the fact that all the pot wiring is on this PCB. Okay, that's all I got for you. Till next time, over and out.